Hello, guys. We're gonna start here in just a second. Sorry for before. The stream just got disconnected, like the typical thing. Hey, Eli, how you doing? Nice. How'd that go? All right. All right. So we got us some LLW action today. Open things up. We got Bret Hart and Kane in a cage. Charles Robinson's refereeing tonight. All right. All right. Let's see how this goes here.
Fight!
All right. As this gets going, here's how the rest of the card's gonna look here. After this match, we're gonna have some tag action. The LOD, the Legion of Doom, is gonna fight Cactus Jack and Terry Funk. After that, we got Undertaker versus Surfer Sting. Then we got some top 12 shenanigans. Mike Awesome's gonna fight McIntyre in some intense grudge match action. Then we got 2 4-man Battle Royale title shot matches. The first will be Edge and Christian and Vader and Shamrock fighting for one. The other one's going to be Jerry Lynn, Christopher Daniels, Al Snow, and Masahiro Chono fighting for the other.
Yeah!
As usual for these events, this is a match request driven style of events the LLW stuff is. So if anyone has match requests, let me know. I imagine for something like this we could do a couple after the main 6, so if anyone wants to see a couple matches tonight, feel free to comment.
What? 5 minutes gone.
Ooh, right in the face.
Ha!
Brett freaking busted open. Counter.
1, 2.
Oh, tombstone.
1, 2.
All Academy's that.
Fwa!
Big juice. Ooh.
1, 2.
Ooh. That classic King Lariat there from the top row. Oh, the choke slam from hell with the cover.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, Kane just brutalizes Brett in the cage. '83 though. All right. Been a minute since we've seen Animal and Hawk in action. Since a tag match will be 60. Let's see. 3, 3, 60, 150. Alright, let's see how it goes here.
Yeah!
Alright, Funk and Animal kick things off in this matchup here.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone who remembers the YWA days, the YWA One Night Stand is going to be coming next week, sometime next week. The booking has been put in for it, and I would expect it sometime next week. I'll talk more about streaming schedule towards the end of the stream here, but Eli has an 8-match pay-per-view for XAW booked, so probably expect that first before the YWA event. I'll probably try to do that early this week, maybe even tomorrow. I'm not sure, but that's my goal to get that rolling there. Tag mate Funk.
Yeah. 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 Fool. Give up. Give up. Yeah.
Ooh, the pile driver does another one. Pile driver.
5 minutes gone. 1, 2.
X comes in, drops a chair in the ring. Funk might pick that up here. Tags and Cactus though.
Great.
Little cruiser on the armbar there.
Yeah.
Little portable Doomsday device there.
Ah.
Military press.
Yeah.
Another press. Tags made on both sides.
Fool. Fuck. Yeah. Come on. Give up.
Funk with the save there. DDT. You got the
10 minutes gone.
going up.
1.
Diving lariat. Oh, little low blow counter there.
Ah.
Big lariat. Headbutt.
Fool.
Funk with the tag.
Yeah.
Knee drop. Animal, the first one tries to take advantage. Almost had him. Wow. Oh, we got
over.
And to a dragon sleeper. Oh, both. Not legal men though. Another press.
Ah! Come on! 1.
Funk says no way Jose on that one.
Come on!
Oh, power bomb cover.
1. Ah!
Oh, power bomb from Animal. Punk and Animal get tagged in. Oh, rolls him over. Gets him in a pin.
1, 2, 3!
Oh ho! Funkin' Cactus Jack sneaking a win there over the LLW. That's not easy to do. LLW are a very dominant tag team. Alright, now we got Undertaker and Surfer Sting here. Manhattan. Well, and I know, well, I know even though they're called in New York, like, whatever, Jets or Giants, their stadium's technically located in New Jersey, which is weird. I don't know why they don't put it in New York, but I know that whole area is a clusterfuck of locations, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they. I always thought it was kind of funny that they would build their new stadium in a different state, and they're still in New York anyway. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like what Oakland's doing right now in Sacramento when everyone's know they're going to Las Vegas and they're not. You know, it's just weird. But I imagine they got a good deal on them on it, and it was good land available, and it was probably literally right next to New York. I think at some point they just stopped being picky, and they just thank themselves for the good deal. I mean, personally, if it was just the Jets moving to Jersey and they were just the New Jersey Jets, I don't think that'd be an issue because New York already has the Giants, and it's not like Jets are going a gajillion miles away. You know, I don't know if it'd be that far of a stretch, but you know, if they want to keep the name, that's fine. But it's like if you're gonna call a team after a city or a state or whatever, they should probably be in that city or state. they but I don't know. It's like it's weird. I don't know why they did that. That's actually something to look into why they chose that route of things. Mm. Well, stadiums take up a lot of space. I imagine in a crowded place like New York City, I imagine there's not a lot of that there. All right, let's see how it goes here. I'm gonna look it up. So apparently, to answer further with Eli's question, because the Giants first moved to the Meadowlands in 1976, but then just followed in 84, because they couldn't find agreement to keep playing in Shea Stadium in Queens, New York. And they both decided to keep the New York thing despite being located in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Fear. How you doing? Oh, there's even a Reddit question on that. Okay, it's a little bit more common than you think, Eli, because the Tampa Bay Rays play in St. Petersburg, the Los Angeles Angels play in Anaheim, the Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington, Redskins play, well, they were called the Redskins. This post was from 9 years ago. They're the Commanders now. They play in Landover, Maryland. I mean, a lot of teams play in cities and towns that don't represent them. Like, even the Pistons play in Auburn Hills.
What?
But the thing is, a lot of these locations are subsets of the bigger cities. Like, Auburn Hills is a section of Detroit. Same thing with Anaheim, kind of a subsection of Los Angeles. I mean, and I think the Meadowlands kind of follows suit with that. It's just trickier with the Meadowlands, with East Rutherford, because it's technically a different state, but it's literally on the border of New York. Like, it's very close. Like, if you walk like 5 feet, you're in New York. You know, that's kind of the thing. And that's a lot of work and effort to change the branding of everything.
5 minutes gone.
So, and the Lions used to play in Pontiac.
Give up. Give up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for baseball, I mean, oh, that's snow interfering. He has a match later tonight. Well, yeah, because, I mean, for baseball fans, they don't... Here's the... Baseball stadiums are the only sports stadiums that are allowed to have a lot of character. Because of the way other sports are, you can't really do a ton with the stadiums they're in. So, baseball keeps things very fresh.
1, 2.
And, yeah, of course not. And I wouldn't either. I want some uniqueness to the stadium. Oh, 2.9 there. There's another post to somebody about it. They said that it's technically a marketing ploy to draw in more fans from a contested market with multiple teams. Like, if you named yourself the Jersey Jets, you tell New Yorkers that they're not really their team, they should root for the Giants instead. And the idea is that the Jersey people would still root for the Jets even with the name, because it's still in technically New Jersey. It's pretty much they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
10 minutes gone.
But, you know,
Give up. Give up.
because the Anaheim Angels didn't move or anything, they just changed their name to Los Angeles because Anaheim's just a subsection of Los Angeles. So now they're the LA Angels of Anaheim, so they just encompass everything.
1, 2, 3.
And someone did bring up that it's a space issue too, because, and I think this is also why a lot of people give the New York team a pass, is because New York City is one of the most dense cities in the world, and the idea of both teams having, even if they still shared a stadium, to build a whole fresh ass stadium in New York City and any of the subsections of it, like Queens or the Bronx, is insanity, you know. So, yeah, it makes sense that they would go there. And I get why too, because then they could be like, oh yeah, we're still in New York, but we're in New Jersey too, so you could root for us too. Which I feel like what helps them get a lot of fans. And this is probably why you don't see a football team in New Jersey, is because the Jets and the Giants kind of found a loophole in how to do things a little bit because of the location. It's still weird though. Like because I'm a stickler for name stuff too. And I get this is the only example of that where I'm kind of I get, but it's still a little tricky because with the other examples they didn't move to other states and still kept the name. It's one thing to kind of fidge a bit about the location within a state, but but with state stuff it's a little weirder. But at the end of the day, it still makes sense just because of the way the geography and the location and everything in that area is just so fucked that you kind of have to squeeze in technicalities to make the best of things. Well, I don't know where they go. Like, and if the Giants and the Jets were gonna be in state, they couldn't be in New York City. They would have to be more in state, which they wouldn't do because actual in state New York is a lot more barren. And I feel like a lot of the people there are Buffalo Bills fans. And I feel like the Bills have such a diehard fan base, they're not going to win any people over there. And they would kind of lose a little bit of the New York fan base, but they would really lose with the New Jersey fan base. Long Island's the same thing. Long Island is covered in apartments and everything. Like, all five subsections, like, if you look on a map, like a really close map of New York City, like, if you're going to build a brand new stadium, you're going to have to tear down so much shit. And that's just for one stadium for both teams. If both teams were going to get a football stadium, they would have to tear down a lot of shit. And that's a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of time. It's just one of those things where there's just not a lot of, like, in terms, like, it's one thing to do it in like a creative, like, what if scenario, but if you're going to try to take both those teams that are like in keep in mind, East Rutherford, like I said, it's literally on the border of New York State. Like, it's literally 5 feet away from the border or something along those lines. It's very, like, you literally take a short walk and you're in New York. So it's one of those things where I think they just had their foot in the wall, and or they were just stuck in the middle, and they're just like, look, we can't, like, we need to find a place now. And there's nowhere in New York that we can get. So let's just take this little chunk of land on the border and go from there. And that's what they did. Yeah. RFK. What team is for that one for? Yeah. Who won that last match? Undertaker did. Wasn't paying attention. Yeah. I get it, though, because next up, Awesome and Drew McIntyre. I get it, though, because that team needs a fresh start more than anything. And even though that stadium does have a lot of memories, it also has a lot of bad memories for a lot of people. And at this point, I think for a lot of people, I think people just want to see a fresh start for that team in all levels. Is that their current field? Is FedEx Field? Okay, that's different then. Yeah, I get it because, I mean, what are you gonna do with that place? I mean, yeah, you can keep it for people to look through and stuff, but who would it be for? Like, it's not practical to keep in a crowded place like that. I think most people would prefer for it to be up, But there he is. I need to see how this one goes. All right, yeah, that makes sense because it's not even like within the location and stuff. Yeah, I get it. It's just
Come on!
well, and I think, and that, you know what? Actually, you know what? That Washington example is a great example to compare with the New York thing because with the way Washington D.C. is, with the way it's constructed and designed, there's not a lot of room for a lot of stuff. So you almost have to do some stuff outside that district, like in Maryland or whatever. It's kind of the same case with New York. It's an exact same case as New York. Oh, if that's the case, then they either need to fix it up or they need to get a new thing then. But new stadiums like that take a long time to do. And with the way sports are, you can't be off schedule without dire consequences. You have to play on that rhythm, and you need to have places to play in. And that's kind of why you see so many teams take forever to get a new stadium or do this. It's a big reason why the Raiders left Oakland, is because the city absolutely refused to get them a new stadium. Same thing with the Athletics. I mean, granted, the teams didn't help their case by losing all the time and not being real successful in the later years, but that's why they left Oakland, because the city does not want to give people new shit. I mean, I don't even know if, well, let me think. Oakland doesn't have a hockey team. I know the Golden State Warriors, they often get, I hear them a lot considered for San Francisco, but I also heard some people say for Oakland. I think they just represent that whole area of San Fran and Oakland, so I guess half a team, I guess. Ooh.
5 minutes gone.
One, two.
Awesome to recover this.
One, two.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 30 years. I mean, a couple of years away from being 30 years old. Oh, awesome bomb.
1, 2.
So, it definitely has a little bit of wear and tear, but that stuff can get fixed up over time. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. But at that, since '97, that stadium has seen all the worst of that franchise. Oh, awesome with a springboard plancha. Or crossbody, some would call it. Oh, that reminds me, I was going to talk about Backlash. So, did anyone see Backlash? I usually do, when I do a stream, I usually talk about prediction stuff. I didn't do it this time, so So the first match, that Fatal 4-Way for the US title, I thought it was fine. I thought it was just definitely an example of getting two stories done in one match with Priest and McIntyre and Fatu and LA Knight. I think Fatu still looks great. The debut of Jeff Cobb's pretty cool. I'm a little
10 minutes
concerned,
go.
though, that they're getting a lot of big name debuts, which is great, but what does that mean for the people that are in there, like NXT and stuff? You know what I mean? Oh, awesome bomb from the top row.
1, 2.
Oh, McIntyre kicks out. That doesn't work for me, brother. Oh, he misses the Claymore. What? It's it there.
1, 2.
Pop, awesome bomb with
2,
the sit out.
3.
And he gets him with it. Nice. Alright, now we got the two title shot battle royale matches, 4-man each. But yeah, that Fatal 4-Way was fine at Backlash. I thought it was fine, serviceable. It makes Fatu look great. What's the one? Oh yeah, the women's IC match between Becky and Valkyria. I'm a little surprised Becky didn't win. It felt like the moment where Lara losing makes sense, because she's held on to that belt for a while. And even though I don't think Becky needs a belt reign, I think a heel Becky with a belt, with a new belt like the mid-card IC title could help a little bit with it. But, I mean, she retained it. It was a good match. I mean, I've heard some people say it's the best match on the card. I probably technically agree with that, because I think it does the most for each competitors and for a new belt. Although, I will say, I think her retaining was a little interesting. She definitely looks beat up, though. I wonder how many of those are legit, how much is selling. But we'll see, I guess. Let's see. First of the two title shot battle royales will be, this one will have Edge, Christian, Vader, and Ken Shamrock. If anyone has match requests, feel free to let me know. We will do them after these next two matches. Any that I don't get, I'll do in the next Primetime event, LLW Primetime event, which I'll admit might be a little bit, because I'm converting over to the Steam version of the game for my Fire Pro shenanigans. So, some of that stuff may take a pause, but they will be done eventually, nonetheless. Nope. Gonna want this at 60. New name? I don't know about that. Only because them rebranding again would be like a nightmare to deal with. In terms of like finances, marketing, and all that crap. Alright. Yeah, the third match. What was the third match? Oh yeah, Dominic and Penta for the men's IC title. That was okay. I think Dominic's looking pretty good for a babyface turn. I'm still waiting for the inevitable betrayal with Finn. I guess my biggest question is everyone going to betray him, or is it going to be more split down the middle? Is it literally going to be a Judgment Day Civil War 2? I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I think they're getting ready for that though, and I think it's you know what, the Judgment Day and the Bloodline, they had their day in the sun, but I think it's time to see some new groups formed. I'm really excited for that Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman group, but they really should get a name at some point, because just calling them the all three names group is kind of a mouthful, to say the least. And then Vader and Shamrock, which I believe will be... Oh yeah, Vader's here. And Shamrock is in there. Let's see. 360, 150. Alright, let's see how it goes here. This is elimination style. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, the Penta Dom match was okay. I think Penta looks decent. But like I said, again, like all these new people coming in from other, like AEW and all that, it's fun seeing them come to the WWE world.
Fight!
But where does that leave the guys from like NXT coming up, or like the other WWE veterans? I mean, there's only so much time and space on the card, and only so many shows and stuff. Like at some point, someone's gonna eat shit, and I don't know who it's gonna be, you know? Because a lot of these guys that bring in, they've kind of been everywhere else, like Japan, like other American companies, and they've kind of done it all except WWE. So where do they go after WWE? You know? But yeah, after that, Gunther and a Pat McAfee match. I mean, I was intrigued at first, because I've never seen a McAfee match before, so I was just thinking what that was gonna look like. I thought it was okay, maybe a little bit on the long side. I like the storytelling in it to a degree, but I do think I get why Gunther's being booked for this stuff, because his whole shtick has been champion undefeated twice over with the IC and the world title. I mean, he needs to start doing shit that doesn't revolve around the belt, and I get that. I do. If he's going to be a long-term player, he can't always be sniffing the title-like thing, and I get that. And I do. But I think after this right here, he needs to start feuding with something more legitimate. And I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like, because I've seen
5 minutes gone.
He's not going to be Cena for that WWE title. He's not going to be Jay again for it, probably. So, because that storyline's done with. So I don't know. And I don't think he's going to go back to mid-card title. Maybe some tag stuff with a tag partner. Maybe do a storyline there. But I feel like W dips in that well quite a bit. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. Yeah, I probably will do that Monday. Maybe Tuesday, but I'm thinking Monday is when I'll do it.
Give up! Give up!
No, I'm prettier. But the main event, Cena and Orton. I like the new dynamic of heel Cena and babyface Orton. I think that was fun, but I don't know. Like, I feel like Cena turning heels lost a lot of steam in such a short span of time because the frickin' Rock just shat on the whole fucking story they're developing. And now it just feels like we're just waiting for like something major happening to give the term like justification, and we haven't yet. I mean, the R-Truth teasing is enticing. I would like to see You know what? Now you think
10
about it,
minutes
fuck
gone.
it. Have R-Truth be the guy. I mean, wouldn't that be fantastic storytelling with all these years worshiping Cena, and then he's the one to finally beat Cena in his last match? That'd be freaking awesome.
1, 2,
But would they do it? I don't
3,
know, because I don't know if they
4.
want to give R-Truth the
1,
WWE
2,
Championship.
3.
But here's the
4.
thing, like, he doesn't have to have it for long, because I imagine, from what I heard, that Cena's last match will probably be at a Saturday Night's Main Event in December, because he said this year is his last. So I say R-Truth beats him in Saturday Night's Main Event if it goes that far, if that's how they develop it. And then he can hold on to it till WrestleMania and lose it to somebody. He doesn't have to hold it for long. No one needs him to see him hold it for long. It's just story. You know, just for the sake of a fun story. That's the point there with that. But we'll see. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'll be patient with it, but I think they need to start doing something interesting here because they kind of all the intrigue with the Cena turn's been pretty much shut out the door from the Raw, which is a shame. But yeah, overall, it was an okay pay-per-view. I think there's been better Backlash events, in all honesty. I mean, I get it's right after WrestleMania. I am a little shocked that they would be that ballsy to have so many title matches on Backlash with the whole idea knowing no one was going to lose the belt. Because for me, it's like, I don't know, and it's okay sometimes to do that, but I feel like if you're going to have like 80% of the card be title matches, I think at least one of those matches needs to be a title match. But it's fine every once in a while to do that. One extreme or the other extreme. Fine to do every once in a while. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like they could be a little bit better at. Oh, he just speared Edge. No one's been eliminated yet.
Give up. 1, 2.
Oh, Vader tap to the Shamrock punches. But yeah, I hope the next one's gonna be better. I guess my biggest thing right now is I just think that they need to. I don't know. I just think that they need to find a better way of managing everyone. You know, because I feel like what it's coming across to me is that, like, some of these new guys coming in, it's kind of like the new toy effect for little kids, where they get a new toy and they play with it for a while, and then they get bored with it and don't know what to do with it, and they just ditch it for something else. Oh, it would be awesome, Eli.
Give up.
Oh,
20 minutes gone.
Down to Edge and Shamrock. Now, the current LLW champion is Rick Rude. He actually got a rare night off tonight. He's been the defending champion since day one. Defended successfully, I think, 6 or 7 times. Hi, Jim. How you doing? Well, oh, Shamrock gets the win. I'll get a future LLW title shot. '98. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. All right. Now for the main event, the other title shot battle royale match. That's going to include Masahiro Chono, Christopher Daniels, let's see, Jerry Lynn. And Al Snow. See how it goes. Once again, if anyone has match requests, let me know. I could definitely do a couple on the stream here after this match if people wanted some more wrestling action.
Fight!
Red Wolves, that would work. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get, here's the thing. A name like that, with everything, the connotations, because I live in Michigan, and there's a large Native American population in Michigan. And I know a lot of Native Americans that did not like the name. But I also heard of some Native Americans that don't care about the name, and are fine with whatever. So, yeah. I think they get away with it because it's a bird and not the actual, like, talking about a skin tone. Because that's the connotation. When you have the logo of the guy with the skin tone phrase, it kinda, it's not the best combination in the world. Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly get, like, which ones are good and which ones are acceptable and which ones aren't. You know, that one, I think that they get away with that because the logo is the guy, but the Black Hawk could be taken as the name of a bird. You know what I mean? It's not, there's multiple interpretations of what that is. You know? It's kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs, where it's called Chiefs, and their mascot used to be a Native American, but they adjusted that. A college that I went to, like I took school at, Central Michigan, they were called the Chippewas, but they don't use the thing, the mascot or whatever, because it's, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's just, this is not so much what it actually means, it's how it could be interpreted by people. Like, technically it's this, but people could see it as that. That's why they don't get under public scrutiny. You know, it's a PR thing. You know, it's the court of public opinion. That's kind of the biggest thing about it. Like, what it actually means and what all that doesn't transfer over to what actually people think. The reason why Washington got the shit they got is because it was way too on the nose. With the Chicago Blackhawks, it's not as on the nose, so they get away with it.
Give up.
And stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing with the Cleveland baseball team, because they were literally named themselves after a great player that died playing baseball. That was the idea behind it. It's just, when you have, you know, Cleveland Indians, and then you have the logo of the guy, it was a bit much for people. It's kind of the same thing as the Washington thing. And it was the same case there, because I've heard a lot of Native Americans that said they should change it, and heard a few that said they didn't care. So it's kind of a toss-up there. It's not for me to say, because I'm not Native American, so I have no room to say on what is right or wrong about it.
10 minutes gone.
I know...
Give up. Give up. Give up.
I get that, yeah. I mean, yeah, if they want to give them their 2 cents, sure. I mean, I'm not partial to any of it, in all honesty. I'm not a stickler for the old schoolness of that stuff. And I think that's a big reason why...
1, 2.
Yeah, it's just one of those things
1,
where...
2, 3,
where
4.
It comes down to...
1.
Context of the situation. But I guess at the end of the day, the meaning behind stuff, it only goes so far. At the end of the day, if enough people find something not in good taste, they'll make noise about it until it's changed.
1,
And
2.
it's already happened a couple times. Will probably happen more.
Ooh-cha!
And if oh man, Chono just got critical.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, in wrestling it's different because when you're playing the bad guy, you're supposed to be kind of a dick. That's kind of the point. You know?
Yeah.
I remember the infamous Roddy Piper thing when he was going against Junkyard Dog and he kind of did the whole freaking half face thing. Even back then people thought it was a bit much. I mean, it was, even now it's like, ooh. But the point, he was being an asshole, that's the point. I mean, the connotation, the context is he's playing mind games and being a dick. Because he is a bad guy in that context. Brown news, brown, not Junkyard Dog. Okay, my bad. I thought, I got it confused because, yeah, not everything from 80s wrestling holds up well. Brown news, brown. Okay, yeah, my brain just spazzed on the memory of it. Oh! Really?
Yeah.
He was the good guy for that? Ugh. That doesn't age as well. That ages even worse then. Yeah, I might dig a little bit in that, because if
20 minutes gone.
yeah, I mean, when you're young, I mean, you don't connect the dots because you just see things kind of in a different way. When you get older and you start hearing shit, you're like, okay, I get it. Oh yeah, he was. Junkyard Dog and Bad News Brown were both great. Angel Wings. Oh, Daniels taps down to Lynn and Snow.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, Snow gets it. So Snow and Cameron got future title shots. Well, that's what they were called back then. You know, when that's the name, that's the name. It's just, I think, yeah, because in Canada also has a pretty large Native American population. So I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, like when it comes to stuff like that, I think you always have to default to like what the people that it's geared toward think. Like at the end of the day, we could say what we want about the Washington name, but if Native Americans feel a certain way about it, that is kind of the default route to go because it affects them the most. yeah, yeah. That I don't know how. Yeah, you know the thing with WWF, they weren't always. Sometimes with wrestling, sometimes the wrong guy goes over, and it isn't always the best. Double count of that, yeah. That's the safe route when you don't want anyone to be like when you don't want anyone like eating the shit. The safe route is just do a double count out so no one loses because God forbid there should be a winner and loser and people be okay with that. Yeah, I mean, because like I said, back then that was. Hold on, I'm gonna look. Uh, let's see. Okay. Oh, oh my God. Uh, I was literally looking up that, and I'm on my phone, and literally there was a YouTube short of Bad News Brown on the Roddy Piper like blackface angle at WrestleMania 6, and literally the first thing he says is like, it was the stupidest thing I have ever seen, and I figured let him go ahead with it. I'm just like, well, yeah, that sounds about right there. Yeah, but that was WWE though. Like during the '80s, it didn't matter what your wrestling pedigree was. It was the Vince McMahon world. You know, he everything everyone had a role that he wanted people to play, and if you didn't want to play it, he'd fire your ass and he'd find someone who would. And he got away with it because WWF quickly became the biggest wrestling company in America, and all the competition was fizzling out hard outside of like Jim Crockett, future WCW, and maybe a few little territories there and there. Yeah, yeah, it definitely was a bad moment. And you think it's funny because I used to think that he was a heel because only I think because I naively thought, oh, he had to be playing heel. There's no freaking way he'd be doing this as a baby face. It's just like of course he's doing this as a baby face because God forbid that we could have a baby. Oh, well, if anyone has match requests, feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to do a few. Um, if there's any match requests that I'm not able to get to in the stream, I'll bookmark them for a future LLW Primetime event. Well, in all honesty, there was a lot of great names that they could have done when they were renaming the team. Like they could have done Warhogs because their mascot was a hog throughout their existence. They could have done Warhogs like the hog, and also because of the military ties. I mean, there's a lot they could have done that would have fit the team and its history better than Commanders. I don't have Tyrone Slab on this. That's Steam. This is PS4. This is different. Felicia versus Keo. Yeah, sure. We'll throw that up. Red Wolves. I mean, yeah, that would have been better. I mean, Commanders is okay. It's just so generic and safe. Like Guardians, it's not like I feel like I come up with a better one and like get a create a team in an old EA game. Yeah, and like I said, I think that's why the Chicago Blackhawks don't get as much like shit about it is because they kind of do things a little bit more obscure and that is on the nose. Like if Washington kept the logo but had a different name, that they might have been able to get away with it. But literally Redskins, ugh, that's, I mean, that wasn't gonna end well with that combination in today's day and age. It just wasn't. Yeah, the logo was rough. I will say that. I mean, and the thing, yeah, well, and you know what? In my area, I hear a lot of even Native American people still use Indian term. So I don't think it's necessarily the word that's the problem. It's the fact that a lot of is that I feel like a lot of, especially Native Americans on the younger side, not so much the older ones, but the younger ones, I think they want stuff to reflect their culture with a little bit more dignity, you know, and something like the Washington Redskins with the mascot logo guy, it's it's a bad combination. I mean, context helps, especially in the case of the Cleveland Indians. But I think if you're gonna name the team after the guy, like they did with the Cleveland Indian name, which is fine. For the time, it was fine because it was the context of it was a good tribute. It's just the terminology needed updating because the terminology reflected a time period where that was considered acceptable, but it's not acceptable now, and that's kind of the biggest thing there. Red Spears would have been fine. All right, what was it? It was Felicia and Keo. All right, a little XAW exhibition here. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's whatever the right people are comfortable with. What was it? Felicia and Keo. Alright, that works. Yeah, and here's the thing too, and I think this is and that ties into the Washington thing, because I feel like the Washington is really, really good. I don't know how many people it mattered to at the time, but the hate started rising when the team sucked, and the owner was a well-known asshole. And I think, and this doesn't help either, because there were rumors, and I don't know how true this is, that the OG owner of Washington, when they were in Boston, when they renamed the team when they moved to Washington, I heard rumors that the guy was a racist. I don't know, but that would explain a lot why he called the team the way he did. And by OG owner, I mean like from like the 60s and 70s, when Washington first became a team. But no one knew about it because at that point in time, like the Native American culture was often used for sports terms and nicknames all the time. But like I said, it's definitely an area where I feel like well, in terms of the new guy, the new owner, well, keep in mind that the name change stuff started while Snyder was still the owner. And it's still going on with this new owner. So Snyder kind of made a half-assed attempt because Snyder was very much against changing the name for the longest time. And when he was eventually successfully forced to, he half-assed it to the highest level.
1, 2.
Until they finally got rid of him, and then they finally got competent people in. Well, that's the thing there too. And this is a thing where I really wish I had someone, I really wish like I was doing this with someone of Native American heritage, because I feel like they could offer a lot of good perspective on it. Yeah, it would have been better if they talked more with Nate, and maybe they did, and maybe they didn't have anything for it. Maybe they were like, well, we don't know, you come up with something. We just didn't want you to use that name. We don't care what else you use, just don't use stuff that relates to our culture.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah,
12,
they should have
13,
been. They
14,
definitely should have been
15,
better about it.
16,
it's just
17,
with teams that
18.
have existed as long as Washington has, the longer they've go on, the more stubborn they can get with name changing. And I think, and that's kind of why you see places like WWE, like they could easily change it back to WWF. They have the money. They could easily make it happen. But they've been known for WWE so long, and all their branding, everything's tied with that name. It would be a lot of work to change it back. So they should, why bother at this point?
1, 2.
And it's kind of, and that's why you don't see companies change stuff that often, is because branding is everything. Oh yeah, with the... Yeah, and that's another example of kind of loosely getting away with it, because we all know the Atlanta Braves are connected with Native Americanism, but because they kind of frame and do things a certain way, they kind of get away with it. Yeah, exactly. They're different because they did make... And Chiefs did their changes way early on, actually.
10 minutes gone.
Yeah, I think that's still a part of...
3.
Oh, Theo with the win there.
Ah!
All right. Well, I think with teams like the Chiefs and the Braves, I think it's one of those things where, like I said, I really wish I had someone who was Native American here to have some perspective on it, because I feel like they could offer a lot of reasoning behind what they think of those kind of stuff. But from what I can gather, it's one of those things where they keep a little bit of stuff because it is part of their history, but at the same time they know well enough that, except for Washington, somehow they thought they could get away with it longer than they should have. But sometimes, with older stuff, when stuff forms, they go with, stuff and terminology that at the time they thought it was okay, but over time it becomes not okay, and then you make changes and you adapt. And franchises like Braves and Chiefs, they kind of did that to a degree. I mean, some people may wish they may go even further with it, but things are where they are at. But I think it also comes down to the fact that how. But here's the thing, though. What it comes down to, it's a combination of things. And with Washington, they may have gone away with just the logo being the way it is, but with a different name. They could have got away with that. With a different logo, but same name, maybe not as much, but still would have been better than both of them. The fact that they had both, and then the rumor circulating about the OG owner and naming the team, then you have Snyder being a dick, and the team losing, and people getting on them for that, and then the rise of, the hyper awareness of how, respectful we should be of other cultures and traditions, and that we should really not have sports franchises blatantly named in such a way with the logo in such a way. It's just too many things, and at some point you just kind of have to be like, if you're running a franchise that has that, you really need to just be like, take a breath and be like, okay, we can't keep this. This is ridiculous. This stuff has not aged well at all. We need to be respectful. And Washington did eventually do that. And they're better off for it, in all honesty. Because here's the thing, even if you take out the whole name thing, they were a sucky team. And they were awful. And the owner was awful. And they needed changes from top to bottom. And in all honesty, the name change probably helped them more than anything. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point, though, because you have Fighting Irish, and that is kind of the same thing, but people don't get bothered as much by it. So that is a good point to bring up. And I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think it just depends on how the people affects cares. Because I think with that example, I think most people who are Irish, I don't know how many of them care. So that gets a pass. It depends on if the people that it represents care that much about it, it should change. If they don't care about it, then it's probably going to stay the same. And that's kind of the trick behind it all. Yeah, it just depends, you know? I mean, and a lot of those people, the people that kind of stuff affects, I mean, you really have to see what they say, because as much as we can guesstimate stuff, at the end of the day, I mean, only they know how it affects them. Yeah, with the companies that do that stuff, they really should say something like this: everything in this has been approved by everyone it represents. You know, that they really should do that, because because if they're going to be daring with certain things, they need to get the 2 cents of people that's going to affect. Because if they put that in and they do have the people, and the people say, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that, it's pretty offensive, then fair enough, you know? I mean, that's the way I feel about it. But like I said, I mean, there's only so much I can say about so many of those things. Yeah, I just think when it comes down to it, I think a lot of companies, yeah, I think a lot of it is just a lot of companies also nowadays play it safe because they don't want, because a lot of them try to like do a shortcut where instead of putting the work and effort to figure out if something could be seen as offensive or not, they just don't do it, period. And the problem with that is that then you don't have, because here's the thing, like there's nothing wrong with having like people of different backgrounds and cultures and stuff like that. You just got to do them right, and you got to put the work and effort to do that. And yeah, on one hand, if you're not willing to put work and effort, not having them in period's probably the right call. But at the same time, would it really kill you to put in the work and effort in? Because I don't know if that's a better solution, but it's still, you're still ignoring people at the end of the day. And that's the thing, you could easily do fun stuff like that. Well, it is a weird game. It is a quirky world, and that's fine. It's just you got to be careful at the end of the day. Yeah. But yeah, I no one else has requested matches, so I think people are good with things as they are. Um, so streaming schedule. I do plan on doing another XA XAW pay per view is going to be tomorrow. No other TW promotion has submitted last bookings. Technically, the due date was yesterday, but I'll be a little forgiving since I'm doing XAW Underground tomorrow. So I mean, it doesn't affect, so it wouldn't affect things too much. But yeah, that's, I'm gonna say that's probably the due date. YWA One Night Stand, I'll probably be maybe a day or two after that. It's hard to say at the moment. I'm not sure how I'm gonna pace things, but it also depends on if, like I said, if TWN promotions do put stuff in before Underground XAW. So we'll just have to see. Yeah, at the end of the day, my advice to people is if you're not sure, if you're doing something, you're not sure if it could be perceived as bad or something. My best advice is until I wouldn't do it until you get the 2 cents of somebody who is of that descent. You know, someone, because if you do it and it's not good, then it's not gonna go well for you. But so you definitely want to make sure, because it doesn't hurt to be sure on that kind of stuff. Um, and it just, and like I said, it doesn't hurt to be sure on that regard. But yeah, um, I guess in other updates, there's a lot of projects that I need to get back to that I kind of been lackadaisicing a little bit. I have to do a little bit of correction in the series because of some video stuff. I made a post about it yesterday. So there's a little bit of that too. But yeah, so no shortage of things to do. So there's a lot of stuff I need to get back to doing, but it is what it is with that. Sometimes you just gotta, sometimes things go on pause. um, but yeah, I think that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. In case you guys want to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, you didn't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab of our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.